I've learned that I'm a boomer when it comes to computer stuff. The more and more well, it's so weird because I usually look over here and I can see my face.
Yeah, you
Um,
can you can do this really cool thing where you drag the window to your other monitor.
oh, that works. Yeah, but
Yeah.
how do I? Okay, this is fine. I'm fine. I'm just complaining. All right, welcome to another episode of Hyde Piece. I am Mr. Hyde, or you can call me Hyde. And today we have none other than Mrs. Hyde. Hyde's married. This is my wife. Hi, honey.
I hate when you call me
Hi.
your wife like that.
Why?
No, in the long, drawn out.
My
Isn't it? It's
wife.
the Borat thing.
Yeah, it's the Borat thing. I think it's great. I like to refer. It's interesting now, like saying it because it's like, oh, this is my wife. I feel like now, at the back of my head, I just want to say my wife.
Yeah, so
And you don't
fun.
like it?
No.
Okay, I'll stop doing it.
It's also
And
funny because this is like the one guest you could have done in the same room. And
oh,
we're
we could have.
definitely
We could have. If you're wondering right now and you're watching this, how we're not in the same room, she's actually in the room right next to me. It's because I have no space. It may look like a lot of space on stream when I'm twerking and stuff, but I actually don't have a lot of space. So,
yeah. This is like where I sit when you stream and you're on the other side of this wall. And so when you scream and scary stuff, that's how I know the theme of the day has changed.
right, exactly. And see that door
Yeah.
behind her? That's actually the door to the bathroom where I always have to run to the bathroom. I always have to do the pee pee right in there.
Yeah, I
By the
can
way,
also hear that.
wait, you can hear it?
Sometimes, yeah.
By the way, there was an orb in your camera. I think you have a ghost in your room. Do you ever feel like a weird presence in your room?
Where was
Ever?
it?
It was right there above you. I don't know.
Here?
I'm tripping out. Yeah, this is now a paranormal podcast.
Keep an eye out.
But anyways, I don't know how to do this. I'm still super bad at like interviewing people and stuff, but I'm sure over time it'll get better, especially when we had all day talking to each other and now we're here and I have to ask you some serious questions. But no,
Serious?
yeah, serious questions. I'm
Hmm.
actually going to ask you a lot. So we're going to start off with a pretty intense question right off. Why'd you call me?
You couldn't set up your computer.
All right, let's not
I
talk about
was
that right
just
now.
trying to
Let's not
help
talk about
you.
that. So anyways, yeah, there's so many things I want to talk to you about. First of all, you've been watching the One Piece live action. I kind of
Mhm.
watched a little bit with you. We can get right into that and then we'll just let the chat go. But what's
Yeah.
your thought so far on the, well, first of all, actually, wait. Before we go into it, we should talk about our wedding. I mean, how was the wedding for you? I mean, I've talked about it on stream. So how was the wedding for you? What?
My ring's in the kitchen because I took it off while I was making miso soup.
Oh my God. See, there's an orb right there. Did you see that?
That
There's,
was dust.
oh
That
my
was
God.
dust.
I
That
was
was
like,
a,
holy.
a dog hair or something in the
Oh
like.
my God. Okay. Well, first off, how was the
Okay.
wedding for you and your perspective? I've talked about it on stream already. I talk about it all the time. So, like, in your perspective, how was it?
Yeah, I think it went really great. I mean, there are so many things that can go wrong with a wedding, and I just feel like nothing really went wrong with ours. I was kind of waiting for the gotcha, but we had perfect weather. We were in like a coastal town in March, which is sometimes rainy season. We had perfect, sunny, beautiful, breezy
Mhm.
weather.
Right.
Um, Everything was beautiful. It was very much like a trust the process for months of planning and talking to people and then like seeing the vision and people just like understanding what I had in my brain. It just was really fun for me because
Yeah.
I'm a very type A planner. So I had like pictures sent to all of our vendors and like boxes labeled with photos of how everything should be. And when I got there, I thought I'd have to check everything and it was just perfect
I'm
from
not
the day.
kidding. We had these boxes in our house, like towers of them, and they all had like everything that was going to be on the tables and stuff. And because she's so like everything's to the picture, everything's got to look correct, she like created like images for how they should look on the tables of the day of. And to be honest, everything came to life. Like everything was like perfect. The colors were perfect. Everything that was on the table looked perfect. I mean, the flowers, like it was all everything that I felt like you imagined for our wedding came to life, and it was a stunning day. We also had like news it was supposed to be cloudy with some rain and stuff. There's the orb, um,
Where
and
are these coming from?
I don't know. You have a ton of spirits in your room right now, but yeah, even the weather was supposed to be bad, and all of a sudden it was like the most gorgeous day ever. Like super blue. The ocean looked amazing. It was
Yeah.
it was incredible. It was hot when we were doing our our vows to each other, I was
Oh, yes, of
sweating
course.
so bad. I was sweating
If we
so
want
bad.
to, I don't know how much of the details you already got into on your stream because like the first day you were back streaming, I was traveling for work, so I wasn't even like on a computer.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's a few funny hide moments throughout the day. One would be you only were sweating during your vows. You were fine the whole day, and then as soon as you had to give your vows, it was like the nerves plus the sun made your forehead sweat.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I was
I
sweating so
remember,
bad that my head was crying as well as I was crying.
yeah, yeah, like halfway through, I was like, should I pat him or I'm just gonna let him finish? And then I decided to do it at the very end of your vows. But um, there was that, and then at the very end when we were doing the exchanges with our officiant.
It's yeah, our efficient. Like
I
I,
almost said minister, our
yeah.
officiant, who's our friend in chat sometimes. Um, the line was to repeat after him, and he said, "I promise to love you like unconditionally," and Hyde said, "I promise to love you conditionally," and then everyone just started laughing because it's very. I keep wanting to say your first name.
You
It's
can say my
very
first name. People do know my first name.
okay. It's very Dylan. It's like a Dylanism
Whoa, why
to
are
do
you
that.
announcing my name like that, dude? That's crazy. You just fucking opt. What the hell? Just
We
kidding. Go
don't
ahead.
we don't need to put full legal, but Dylan, yeah, it was very Dylan-esque to have that happen. It was a Dylanism. But
Yeah.
I think it was pretty much it throughout the whole night. There
Yeah, and
was
then
like,
we
yeah.
danced our hearts off. A lot of people, so I asked a bunch of questions, like if people had questions for you, and a lot of them
Oh.
were, what do you think about my twerking abilities? And did I twerk a lot at the wedding?
Yeah, I have to say, the stream is not where Dylan's twerking began. It began much sooner than that, and I've seen it many, many times before your
Y-
streaming era.
Yeah.
And I love it. It gets the crowd excited.
And do
Um,
you enjoy them, right? Like, do you ever like
yeah,
whenever I twerk, do you ever go, holy fuck, I need this guy to stop?
no.
Okay. I forgot to tell you, I did get a message from a guy on Instagram who told me that my twerks make him uncomfortable and I should stop and only focus on the show. Your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Oh, oh,
oh.
yeah. Yeah. I
You
mean,
can go watch the show somewhere else.
oh,
I just
you
feel like your
tell him.
person, well, I feel very protective of you. Let it be known here that when the chat gets aggressive and pushy, all I want to do is walk into that room and say, you guys better settle down
Right.
because there's Crunchyroll, there's all these places to watch a show. People are here for their community and the back and forth, and if they cannot be a part of that and be a part of that safely and responsibly, they can go watch it on their own. And we're happy to
Amen.
block. I feel
Amen.
very happy to steal his phone and block people as well
Yeah.
as your
Yeah.
protector.
Yeah, one of the things too, not to divert from the twerking in our wedding, even though our wedding was beautiful, and I did have that one twerk. Please tell everyone how good that twerk was to the point where I turned around
Yeah.
and all of your friends were shocked. It was
Yeah.
probably my best twerk so far.
I do believe it was to the line, throw that ass in a circle, and you did just that. And your brother, who is a professional dancer, was shocked. And it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brother's a professional dancer, and to see his brother, who's not really good at dancing, throw it back, it made him proud. Yeah, I guess another thing too, to go into that, somebody did ask, like, what do you think of my journey so far as a streamer and like your thoughts on all of that? And then I feel like I have questions that will follow this. Like, what are like since I start, like actually go through the process of like me bringing it up to you, what was your thought process first, and like how has it been so far?
Well, I feel like pretty early into knowing you, I had already known that you had been streaming in the past. You've been doing this for a while. This isn't like, I think recently it's gained popularity, but you've been doing this for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and so when you first told me that you wanted to start doing it again, it was first gaming. And this was like it was like summer because you weren't teaching
Yeah,
anymore, I think.
correct. Yeah, it was like summer. It was actually, I remember when it was the first spring we celebrated, spring break we celebrated together, and I started streaming again, like after
Yeah.
being off for a very long time.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think I ever had a negative thought about it. I just wasn't sure if you ever wanted to do it full time or if it was just like something you enjoyed doing because all your friends would just join. And then you started to grow more friends through playing online and through streaming. So it
Mhm.
just felt like you were building a community of friends. Um, so I didn't know if you ever saw it as like a potential for full time, but then I feel like you had the opportunity where you were just like randomly growing, well, not randomly, due to hard work and, you know,
Thank you. Thank
that
you. I
kind of stuff.
deserve that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. It started to pick up and I felt like we were in that moment of, okay, do we try to support this and dedicate all your time and energy to grow it and continue to ride the wave? Or do we keep focusing on trying to find a full-time position? And I feel like it just made a lot of sense to do streaming full-time with
Yeah,
like the energy and excitement around what you were doing and like you were really enjoying it. And I think, I mean, this is no surprise and not a hot take, but like the teaching world is in a tough place
it is in a very
now and
tough place.
always. And like
Yeah.
it's a really hard job. And I think you would sometimes come home from doing that and you weren't very as fulfilled as you had hoped, I think,
Right.
going
And just to
into it.
give some backstory for those who are like maybe new listeners or new followers or new people, before I was a full-time streamer, I was a full-time teacher. Well, coming out of being like contract teaching, taking over long-term positions due to like a teacher absence or a teacher on maternity leave or whatever it may be, for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got my credential. And then in the hopes of trying to get a teaching job, full job, I ended up not getting one. But with the grace of everything and how lucky I was, I started posting videos of my reactions to One Piece. And then that's when I asked Mrs. Hyde if it would be okay if I go full time, like what she thought of it. And then she was very, at first, we were both very like, is this actually a thing? Is it very like, is there going to be some sort of longevity? But like the amount of explosion like my Instagram took and like how quick my like I mean, the first few days, I remember telling you, like, I went from 70 viewers to 150. Then it was like 250,
Yeah.
500. And then one time there was 2,000 viewers and stuff. So it was definitely, I think we both looked at it at some point, especially after a few months of doing it, where we both went, oh shit, I think this could be something. And then we both decided it, you know?
Yeah. And I think it was also seeing you like really excited and enjoying it. And I think the common theme here between teaching and this is that you really want to feel like you're making an impact on people. You really want to like you are very motivated in inspiring people and you really want to like change people's lives. And I think in a way you're still doing that. You've found this community of people who maybe they don't have someone to talk about this show with or they don't have friends who watch their favorite show. And now they have this whole community of people they can join your Discord, they can talk to you and chat and they can like find all these other people to talk to. And I mean, you guys are always in Discord, like someone's always online chatting. I feel
Yeah.
like you're always joining groups, you're talking to people. So I feel like you are still doing what I think you're passionate about, just in a really different way.
In a very different way. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like, obviously, I didn't think that one day I would be a full time anime streamer, right? And all that stuff. And I know you keep telling me, like, because I feel like I still have this, like, where I don't really want to tell people that's what I do, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And you're like, dude, just accept what it is. It's pretty cool. Not a lot of people get to work from home and do just, watch anime, play games, and make money doing it, And not only that, like the community I've created too. Like I was telling friends recently, I think one of the coolest things to see is when you wake up in the morning and you see like your Discord just like functioning and people having conversations and sharing things. And you see like Instagram having conversations, or whenever I'm on stream, like I've created a community where people are obviously like thriving with each other, and it's an amazing thing. And I'm sure you see it every time you come in, especially on days that are really big when Twitch is like blasting off and stuff. So, or especially when we get like fan mail and like people sending us stuff, and
Yeah.
you're just like, it's crazy. It's a weird thing to think that like I would ever have gotten to this position, but I have to say I am very lucky and I'm very like honored to be in this position. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like let's make no mistake, it's still a difficult, like we were very excited and it felt like a no-brainer, but it was also like a year before we were getting married, which is a very expensive year.
Right,
And
right. It was
we were
definitely.
doing so many other things that we were just like, is this still the right decision? And it was a risk. It will always be a risk to bet on yourself in that way,
Yeah.
but
Well,
worth
yeah,
it.
it's also like a thing too where again, like I've said it plenty of times with you, this could end at any point, like people might not find me entertaining anymore, or I get taken off of Twitch or whatever it may be. Like there's always the fear of what I'm doing and stuff. And I feel like that's the stress that I find myself in all the time, is like I want to continue entertaining people and continue growing this and stuff. So especially when I started doing this during obviously our wedding planning season, I'm sure it caused stress for both of us where we're like, am I going to make enough money to pay for XYZ? We have this big wedding coming up, or, all these things, this is going to work. And I mean, to be honest, it's been great. Like I'm doing phenomenal. And I'm again, very lucky to be here and it all worked out. I mean, we had a very beautiful wedding and stuff. So yeah,
Agree. Cosign.
agree. A cosign agree. Um, Is there anything like that you recognize from? I'm just like going off of it. First of all, somebody wanted to know, did you meet me when I was bald?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, you
Can
were
you tell?
trying to grow. Yeah,
Go.
you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
The first day I met him, he literally told me within 10 minutes of our date that he was trying to grow his hair out again. And you took your hat off and showed me, which is just funny that like you always gave me disclaimers at the beginning of the date. You're like, "Oh, just so you know." And you were like
Yeah.
trying to let me know before anything, like before I saw your hair. I don't know. Um,
But the disclaimers were
and
great because I was just letting you know what I mean? Just so you know, I am bald and I am trying to grow it. And if you're not into that, you now know, you know?
yeah, you also did have photos on your profile, I believe. But anyway, um, yeah, I think it was also he was going through that like I don't know if I want to commit to being bald, and I was like, I think was I mean you had done it before, but I think we've been convinced, right, to stick with this because I
Yeah,
was like,
we've stick. Yeah, we're stuck. Remember one time in our relationship though, I like was like, "Hey, I'm shaving my beard," and I shaved my head and beard, and you hated it. So,
that was a tough day. No, I think it's funny when
it's not
I'm
a
I'm
tough day.
I'm truly being sarcastic. You're obviously my husband, so like I don't feel that way. But when you meet someone and they look away, like in my brain, this is who Dylan is. And then when you just looked so different, I couldn't believe how different someone
It
can
was
look
pretty
without a
bad.
beard.
It was pretty bad.
It wasn't pretty bad. It was just so different. You
It was
looked like
pretty bad.
you were
I was born.
20 years old.
I was
You were a
born for the first.
newborn
I was a
baby.
newborn baby. I had no hair. I would never forget showing up to work and the kids that I was teaching at that point. And I remember walking in, and the kids saw me and they were shocked. And then I remember I went to the teacher's lounge, and the teacher's like, "Hey, Dylan, is everything all right? You want to talk about anything?" Because I was
Yeah.
fully like shaved. Yeah. So
Yeah,
we'll
they're like,
never do that.
is everything okay at home? And is your
Yeah.
relationship okay? Yeah,
Um,
I also you have very youthful skin, so you literally looked like an infant. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, this is why I've never done facial care or whatever, and now you're forcing me to do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to think. Okay, so you've been watching, I mean, how much have you been watching One Piece through my streams? Like how much?
Oh, I would say I know a decent amount of the big moments. Unfortunately, I know people are going to be mad about that, but I can't not watch your stream ever.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So like I was gonna
But technically, you've watched One Piece with me. You know what I mean? You've just not watched it with me in the same room. You're just in a different room. But how
yeah, but
much you?
I haven't watched every stream. I would maybe say I've actually well, and even when I put it up, I'm not like 100% paying attention because I'm usually doing other things. No offense. I'm like sometimes in chat. I have a full-time job as well. So if anything, I will put it on when I have busy work. Although recently I've had no time to watch your stream at all.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I've noticed. It's okay.
if I have
You think
like
your wife
the
would be in there every day, you know?
please.
uh
And if I had like a random lunch break while you were streaming, I'd be able to like be more active. But like, yeah, so I feel like in the beginning I was watching a lot more of it with you, and then I was also trying to edit videos for
yeah,
YouTube.
you
So
were trying, yeah. Yeah. I feel like the YouTube thing was just tough. I think it was also I didn't want you to have to work on that after working a full day. And I just feel like I'll just take care of that. But yeah, I mean, okay, so based off everything that you've seen, what do you think the show is about? I've been wanting to ask you this. Like, what do you think One Piece is about? Basically, maybe take
well,
some of the things I've talked about with you. Because one of the questions is how much do I bring it up to you in a day?
um, in a day, I don't know if it comes up. You don't ever talk about the show like, dude, this crazy thing happened. You never like do that with me. You'll talk about stream. We talk about
Okay.
like in the same way that people talk about work, I think.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, like every once in a while, you'll bring up like a debate about the show to me, but not really. And I feel like I've watched the first five live action episodes. Those are the only ones that I've like 100% paid attention to watching. I because with the anime, I've just seen it here and there with you. Um, I think the show is about,
Ooh, this is
well,
good.
I know for sure the show is about Luffy wanting to be king of the pirates and looking for that treasure that is so renowned, whatever. And what's the world called?
It's just called one.
World.
I don't know. Actually, that's crazy. And if I'm supposed to know, I'm so stupid for not knowing. I don't think they ever explain what the planet is called, the world. I guess you could
Well, it's the
call it.
world government, right?
It's the
So
world government. So like
that's
I
just
don't
the
think the
world.
world has a name. All I know is that what they're on is like the Grand Line, there's the Red Line,
Right.
there's the East Blue, West Blue, North Blue.
Okay. So he wants to be king of the pirates. There's a treasure that's really well known. He's seeking it out, but then along the way, I imagine he just finds a bunch of people who've been mistreated or harmed by probably a combination of the government, the Marines, bad pirates,
Yeah. Oh,
villains, and then in his heart, he can never leave them, so he has to help them all along the way.
wow. That is the most basic response I've ever heard, but it's pretty on point, I think.
I've seen 5 episodes
Yeah,
of
but
the
you've
live
also
action.
seen some of
Oh,
the
okay. It's about brotherhood. What do you want me to say
Yeah,
here?
I want
The
you to
deeper
get real
message
into
is
depth, dude. I want you to talk about corruption. I want you to
if
talk
you,
about
yeah, of course it talks about like the government corruption and all this stuff in the later parts that you're at. I've heard tidbits of how you think it relates to other parts of history and things like that, but I don't know that yet for sure. So from my perspective, a pirate fighting for good and to find treasure.
what is what
It's
is
one
what
sense.
is the name of the treasure that Luffy is after?
A One Piece.
Ah, there it is. What do you think the One Piece is?
I don't think it exists.
Oh, wow. Why? Tell me.
Isn't
Tell me.
One Piece just the friends we made along the way?
That's so stupid. I'm so what? The friends we made along the way. That's crazy. No, 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 no. I want you to
Or
even
he's gonna get there and it's gonna be ruined by ocean water or something if he ever gets there. I just think
wow, you
it,
sound a lot like me, dude. Because my prediction is I think he doesn't make it to the end. That's my prediction.
I
I
think
think
he could.
Luffy doesn't make it to the end and he doesn't find the One Piece. Like
So
he
you think
dies and then
the
his
show ends
crew.
in his death and his crew go and they
No,
actually
because I
fight.
feel like the show would, to me, I think, and call me crazy, but I would say that the best way this would work is like to make it so much more impactful is if Luffy doesn't make it to the end, but his crew makes it to the end for him.
Mm.
Like maybe
It'd be
there's one massive fight right before they get to the end. But anyways, keep going. I keep interrupting you.
no, that would be a tearjerker for sure. I don't know. I don't know enough yet
Hmm, okay.
about it.
And and also too, how many times have you ever watched me cry on camera too?
Yeah,
Yeah, thoughts on that?
I have to say, am I allowed to say things or will they be spoilers? I mean, spoiler alert if you haven't gotten to something like 500. No, 700 maybe. When Ace dies,
That's
you
500.
were
You were about around 400, 500. Yeah.
okay, yeah, you were inconsolable for like the whole day. But I did join that stream because I think people were texting me like, wow, he has so many people in there. And I was like, something big is about to happen because people join when they want to see a big event. Um,
Yeah, yeah. We had 2,000. I think we got the high, it was the highest stream we ever had. It was like 2,200 something people came to
yeah,
watch me watch Ace die. And that was like the day I was like, I think after stream, I was like emotionally destroyed because it was
yeah.
just like one of those things where I was like, I can't even talk about it. I didn't even know a show could possibly do that to someone, but it did. So yeah.
You didn't know a show could do that to someone. You've cried in every episode of Ted Lasso. You've cried in almost every episode of The Pit. What other shows have we watched together that you've cried in?
How do I end the call? Where's the end button for this phone? You're done,
You
dude.
can't even figure out Zoom, dude. Don't
I
even
okay.
bother.
So you're saying
Don't
I'm a
even
big,
bother.
I'm a big. Okay, dude.
Yeah, you cry a lot in shows and movies. And I think you're just very moved. I mean, you've always been a movie lover. You're just moved by things played out on screen.
That's true. I
You
also,
also do cry in life, not in like a like you're not someone who tries to hide their emotions. Like you'll
right,
cry
right, right,
happy tears, you'll cry like you're not someone who's like I don't ever cry.
right, right, right. Exactly. Anyways, okay. I'm a big crier. I get it. I get it. I've learned. I cried today. Did you know that?
During stream?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I wept, dude. I wept like a baby. Um. So, okay, so based off of the things that you've seen of One Piece, and I feel like you don't really watch, and we've had this conversation with your brother, Adam, the GOAT, right? Everyone knows Adam.
Yep.
Adam's the reason we're here. So thank you to him. But Adam and you have always had these debates and arguments about anime and whether
Here
or
we
not,
go.
yeah, here we go. Let's get right into it. This is what the fans want. But no, I think I really want to know your opinion on anime. Like, what's your thoughts on it? And especially like, what's your thoughts on One Piece based off some of the things you've seen? Because we have had conversations. I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. You could talk to me about your thoughts about like the women in the show and like your thoughts on that, as well as your thoughts to your favorite scene, the bathtub scene with the bubbles on the women and stuff. You're on the mic. You're on the
Yeah.
clock.
I will start by saying everything Adam said about me in episode one, that's my little brother. Let it be known, little brother. Um, was outdated. That was a conversation we had maybe 6 years ago. Um, and I think as a kid, there was one anime. I did watch Pokemon with my brothers. Curse of growing up with two boys, I often didn't get to choose what we were watching. So I watched a lot of Pokemon growing up. Um, I remember Dragon Ball Z being on, but I don't remember anything that happened.
Can you name
We
a
played
player? Can you name a character from Dragon Ball Z?
probably not.
It starts with
And
a G. Starts with a G.
I feel like this could be rude if I get it wrong, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh my god. I was gonna say Goku.
Oh, okay, I was close.
Anyways, go ahead.
But and I played with Beyblades and stuff, and we even like would play Pokemon Stadium or like Pokemon Snap. So like I was very aware of those animes, and then I watched Sailor Moon,
You
and
did?
I did watch Sailor Moon. I was waiting for this podcast to tell you. Um,
What? I did not know
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
crazy. Okay.
So I did watch an anime growing up. I didn't think about it until recently. And then I looked this up. Totally Spies is not an anime because it's from France. But I watched Totally Spies, which
I
has
don't
a
know what Totally
similar,
Spies is.
look it up, please.
Okay.
I will show you Totally Spies because if you think about it, the concept is really cool. It's these three girls and they're spies, but they have to disguise themselves in everyday life. So their like tools and weapons are often like a lipstick bottle is like their knife or something. Well, they don't have knives, but like their things are all hidden in like their purse.
Okay.
Um, I'll show you what it looks like.
I
Um,
feel like this was from France.
apparently it was French. These are like their gadgets. But yeah, like their gadgets were all like compact mirror or like yeah, like their blow dryer, which maybe we're putting them in a box because they're girls, but also as a little girl, it was very cool to
I
see
feel
them.
like was this on Cartoon Network?
Yeah.
Oh, then I definitely probably have seen it. But that's pretty cool. I did not
Um,
know that. I did not know you. I feel like Sailor Moon is the big name here. I didn't. I feel like that's so popular amongst a lot of people in the anime community. And I could be wrong. Maybe you guys can tell me. But I feel like Sailor Moon, especially like when I
yeah.
worked at Disney, I knew like a few people who always were big Sailor Moon fans. Like,
Similar vibes, super fun, like girl fighting
yeah,
to save the world, I guess. And apparently the Powerpuff Girls had an anime. I didn't watch the anime, but it started as an anime, I think.
really?
Um, I don't know. I Googled all the things that I watched to see where they were from. And there's a real anime with the
Mm,
Powerpuff Girls.
gotcha, gotcha.
But anyway, so I don't think I dislike I don't feel like I dislike anime. I do feel like I dislike shows that are a lot of fighting, a lot of like gruesome fighting.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, you don't really like TV shows like that or movies.
yeah, like I had to stop watching The Boys because even doing this, it was like getting too much. Like
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings was hard for me because they were like I found them gross, the teeth, the rotting teeth on what was it?
they're orcs, but yeah,
Orcs.
they're
The
supposed to
orcs
be like
like
that.
I know they're supposed to be like that. It's just like not I don't like looking at it. It really grosses me out. I don't know how to explain it. So I think that's why typically like the animes that my brothers were watching or that you've watched in the past are very like action, I guess, fighting.
Yeah.
Um, so I just haven't tried watching other ones. And I also don't like, I think they call it like fan service.
Yeah, yeah, fans, yeah, with the big boobs and the little skirts
Yeah.
and the yeah.
And like I totally I do know it's a cultural thing. People say. I don't want to make anyone angry here. Um,
It's okay.
I
I've
don't
already
en
made many people.
Yeah, I know. And I don't enjoy watching it. And I just feel like if it doesn't add to the plot of the story, it's unnecessary to me to like add those scenes that really
Right.
the main point is for people to. I also, one of my issues with your audience is like when that scene in the bathroom happens, and I didn't watch it live, but you showed me later, like you paused it and you were like, I don't like this scene.
Well,
And
you
then
did. Well, you
people,
did watch it live because I remember in the car drive after, you were like, I don't understand what was happening. Like there was a girl who was rubbing bubbles all
oh,
over.
maybe I was watching it live.
It's not, there's another bath scene that I talked to you about. The one that I
Okay.
was like it was pretty much a sexual,
Yeah.
the
Okay,
orbs are
so the
back.
second one, you, I think I have dog hair on my sweater. Um, so when I do this,
Yeah.
but the second scene you were talking about, people in the chat were like debating you and trying to convince you why it was okay. And I don't know if we've yet to seen why this storyline mattered that this happened to that character. Like, do you think it has contributed to her growth at all?
I don't think it contributed to her growth. I do think like we ended up getting justice. I think the point, I'm not saying that it was justified because I
Yeah,
still hate
yeah,
the scene.
yeah,
I think the point was to make us hate this character. He's this gross, disgusting individual who peeps on naked girls and like he has the invisible fruit or whatever it is. And then at the very end, she pretty much kicks his ass, right? And that was like,
yeah,
you're supposed to be like, fuck yeah, yeah, we hate him. The problem is I just don't think you could have done anything else but
yeah.
that scene, and I still would have not liked him. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, I
but
think there's other ways to make you hate someone. And I think the key difference I see here is like, I also don't, I'm gonna backtrack a little. I don't like when if you say you don't like something, if especially when it's about assault or a sensitive subject, like I don't like when people try to convince you otherwise because like just take a moment. Why would that scene make someone feel uncomfortable? Think about what could have happened to people in their life, people they know, and like why they might not like that scene or
right.
like, and just like use your
Yeah.
brain. Like if they don't like that scene, they don't like that scene. And I
Yeah.
feel like people trying to change your mind was like kind of annoying to me. And that's another moment where I would have stormed in the room and been like, guys,
Yeah, and I think for that scene alone, like that was when we also remember we were driving. It was like bothering me all day because I was like,
yeah,
I don't understand this scene. I just don't get it. I don't under like it really bothered me. And we remember we looked up in the car, like there was a Reddit post by women saying like, I don't understand this is like sexual assault.
yeah,
Why are we, doing this? And then we went to a video on YouTube of the scene and people are like, this is so hot. I
yeah,
wish it was me, like blah blah blah. And
yeah,
so like I think like those it makes it hard, especially as a content creator for myself, who's like, first of all, imagine if I was like, fuck yeah, that's fucking weird. I feel like one
weird.
of
Why would you even want to do this live, guys? Let's
right, why would yeah,
relax.
first of all, yeah. Also, and then second of all, if it's my first reaction to the show. And so like if I'm giving you my opinion, like, hey, I don't like this, we should be like, okay, that's his opinion. I may not agree with it, but like yeah, that's his opinion. And I feel like with that specific debate, the debate on the fan service in the show and all those things is one of the debates I feel like I will never win because there are so
Yeah.
many, like, there's a huge force of people who are like, you need to just get over it. Right. And like, something, and maybe for me now it's becoming more numb.
Do you know
And
what I
it's,
think is sorry to cut you off. I think I've pinpointed why it's different than other shows. And like some shows, like I think some people make the argument of like Game of Thrones has a lot of scenes in it.
uh,
Um, I think the difference with specifically the scene that I saw, I don't know about other animes and other fan services, but they've designed it to like they zoom in on parts of the woman to make it appealing and they almost like they're romanticizing the assault of it, I guess, if that
mm,
makes sense. Like they're positioning it in a different way than other shows of like sometimes when or at least some other examples that I'm thinking of when those scenes happen, it really feels like violent and you feel the pain of the person more than you feel like I guess for the average viewer, there will always be people who enjoy it in that way. But I think the reason I don't like it in these shows is they're trying to romanticize it and make it seem like desirable. And that comments validated my thought because those comments were like, oh, hell yeah, like da da da. And I didn't like that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it felt like a boys' locker room, and I didn't like that. And that's typically why I would avoid a show that has moments like that,
And
I
I think
think.
that I do think a lot of it is not really the author of the story itself. It's
Yeah.
the animation company that did that, which is a lot of people have been saying too, is like
Yeah.
Toei Animation, the people who created the One Piece show, uh have really expanded like the sexual, and it's not saying that it doesn't exist in the manga as well, but like there's a very specific scene in Dressrosa. I'm just saying names, you probably have no idea what they mean, but there's a character who's 16, and then of course the comments are, well, in Japan 16 is the legal age for this in Japan. And so I understand there's a cultural thing.
Yeah, but I would feel the same way if someone was 18. Like at a certain point, you're just
Yeah.
like looking at a young kid with like someone who's older than them, and it's weird.
Right, right, exactly. I mean, again, we could go in circles, and I'm sure people are going to comment on this and stuff, but I feel like that's the number one thing that we've talked about, which deters you away from a lot of anime, is due to that like really
Yeah.
fan service. But I also think like what I am watching is very directed for males. I think we've talked about this with Adam. There's a name for it. It's called like shonen, which I think is made more for men, and stuff. And I could be wrong, and somebody could correct me, but I think like One Piece is definitely that fan servicey is for men, you know. But then
Yeah.
there's other shows that people will be like, oh, show your wife this, dude. She'll love it. It's about like good looking men and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't think she wants to see that either.
No.
Okay,
Um,
I'm like, whew, thank God.
I'm not
Um,
really in the market for any of that.
real quick.
I don't,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I feel like I know One Piece has a lot of female fans too, and I don't like say that anyone's bad for liking those, like the show, even with those moments, I guess. I just
Right.
feel like for me, I don't have an interest in those scenes. I'm assuming they won't have them be the same in the live action, but
Yes.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
well, yeah, and I mean, based off what we've seen, nobody's like their clothes are not as revealing as they are in the show. But I
Right.
have seen
Yeah.
like clips and pictures of season two, um, especially of who's my favorite female character in the show.
Nico Robin.
It is she obviously wears pretty, her clothes. It's not like it's as bad as the show, but it's, she's wearing like latex and stuff. And but anyways, I'm glad we had that conversation. I felt like that was something I know we've talked about plenty of times.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there any like, would you be willing to watch like an anime? Like, would you ever be interested in getting into one? Like, some of the ones that I'm watching are not fan servicey. Like, there's some that I think you would actually enjoy. I truly think you would love Attack on Titan. I think that would be
The Titans are gross. They scare me the way their faces look.
yeah, but the story is so good. It's such a phenomenal story, and I
I
feel like
found
you.
one I want to watch.
Okay, give it to me.
It's called
You're like, shut up.
Shiro Shirokuma Cafe, also
Shit.
known as Polar Bear Cafe. And it's a pun-loving polar bear running a cafe for humans and animal regulars.
Oh, is this the one you showed me a picture of the other day?
Yep, and a penguin works for him.
All right,
So
we can watch it.
I I think that that'll be the first one that I really watch. Um,
But are you into animation anyways? Like outside of anime, do you
well,
even
yeah,
like?
like I loved The Wild Robot. Does that count?
Yes, that's an animation.
Like animated movies.
Yeah, like how many
I just
animated
don't
movies can you name?
anime.
Animated movies. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's see how
well,
many.
that's too many because we're gonna be here all night. We could go through all of Disney and
Well, I
Pixar.
want to know how many you can name in. Let's do it.
No, we're
Six.
not doing. Hey,
Come on, 20
I have a
seconds.
whole list of notes to go through the live action. We don't have time for this.
Oh, you want to talk about the live action? Okay.
It's the whole
Let me ask
point.
you a few more questions that people ask too.
Okay, I'm watching the Polar Bear Cafe, if anything.
Okay, okay. Let's see. What is something, this is from Scott actually. What is something that you never expected to appreciate about Dylan?
Oh, it's like a sweet one.
It's a sweet one.
Um, I never expected. There's so
Yeah.
many things that I knew from first meeting you. Um,
I
I
love how,
think.
well, go ahead, keep going.
Oh, look,
There's the orb.
that was
Whoa.
was for sure like a hair.
I think one of the things that I love that you tell me is
Interesting. The question wasn't for you.
oh,
Interesting.
okay. Sorry,
No worries.
ma'am. Sorry.
Um, but I will hear that after. I think the thing that most surprised me, like the more we progressed, is that the amount of care and effort that you put into, like, I guess taking care of me never faltered or gotten less since the beginning. So
Right.
like in the beginning, people tend to show up when they meet someone and they're like, "Oh, I'll do all these things for you," but like you are the most caring uh person ever.
I love that. Thank
Mhm.
you. So caring is the most unexpected or
Yeah.
never, yeah, I never expected. I just think it's funny. It was like when we first started dating, the first thing you told me was like you thought I was too nice and that I might be
Yeah.
just using you,
I
and
felt
then
like
you
you were almost saying too many of the right things and you were always offering to like take care of me. Like I got sick early on and you were offering to do a million things for me, which is so, so sweet.
yeah,
But at the time I was like, oh, what a love bomber.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
but yeah,
I did buy you a jersey, and then I found out later that you said that it was too soon, you know? What?
it was a big gift that I didn't expect.
Yeah. You also got me a jersey. I never
Yeah,
fucking
after you got me a jersey, I got you a jersey. You get me jersey, I get you jersey, okay?
yeah, you give me a jersey, I give you a jersey. Anyways, look at us. We're married now.
I
So,
know. My room's
uh,
dark. Don't watch.
also, I know it's getting a little bit darker. How did you make Hyde an Arsenal fan so he would share in the pain?
Haha. There wasn't an option for Dylan not to be an Arsenal fan if he intended to get my hand in marriage. So it was just easier to convert you early on. You didn't really have a loyalty yet. You had just started to watch soccer. It is important to me that he knows the pains that we've been through if he's going to be a fan, because I've been doing this my whole life.
Right.
And without giving my age away, it's been a very long time since I've seen them win the league. Well, we know it's been over
Since
20 years.
2000, yeah, 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we're always right there. Well, we've been worse, at
Yeah.
times, but we're usually close. So um, it's a familiar feeling and welcome. This is really, I think, the first season you'll really feel
Well, if we don't win this season, I will feel very defeated because,
disappointed.
like, yeah, it would be a very disappointing thing, and especially like how many
Yeah.
people have been messaging us saying like, "Well, here we go, about to bottle the season yet again."
I've been hearing
But
this
yeah,
my whole life. I think you do deserve a little bit of it.
I know. I remember when we were first texting each other on Hinge where we met. I remember telling you that I was like just getting into Premier League soccer and that I was probably going to be a Liverpool fan, and you said this won't work out if you are. So I decided to
Yeah.
full
One
send.
one thing about me, I was fully honest with Dylan about everything in the
Yeah,
beginning.
very honest. For the longest time, I didn't think she liked me for a while. And then sure enough, here we are. So she did like me. So um, no, with two more questions. Do you remember the moment when you knew you could see yourself marrying Hyde?
People who were at the wedding know that in my vows I said there wasn't like a particular moment. I think it was like a gradual feeling that was building. Um, and I think just one day I was like, yeah, yeah, it could happen. I think our first trip together to Europe was really important and telling because one, like how do you travel with someone when you're together nonstop for 2 weeks?
Hmm.
How do you travel in like a difficult situation? Like things aren't going to plan. How do we resolve this? And then
Right.
like also taking you to where I was born and grew up part of my childhood, like that was really important. You got to meet like my extended family for the first time. So I feel like that trip was pretty big. And we did go through moments of like, where the fuck is the train? How are we gonna get home? And I feel like that was important to go through.
Yeah, yeah. We literally we don't ever argue, but I think the one argument I will never forget is when we were in Edinburgh, the train
Yeah.
station, and we were frustrated because we both just didn't know how this worked and we didn't know where to go.
The thing with
And
the trains there is they were running once an hour, and we were about 2 minutes from missing the train of the hour. And if we
yeah,
missed,
and I remember I was like, "It's this way," and she's like, "No, it's not," and I'm like, "It is," and you just dropped everything. You said, "Then go yourself," and I was like, "Okay, I will," and then it turned out it wasn't that way. So you were right.
I think the one thing about me is I know the public transport in the UK better than you because I did live there and I grew
Yeah,
up there. And I've been back many times. And I'm really good at trains. I'm not good at getting directions by car, but I can figure out a train system pretty well.
Yeah. No, and I honestly think like even to talk about this too, like I think our first trip was definitely a very eye-opening because there was like moments of that trip where it was just like, yeah, we were with family or whatever, but like those moments where it was just like us walking around and like exploring and you showing me like where you grew up and all these things about you, it was very like, damn, like this is great. And we also do so well traveling together. And it's
Yeah.
so fun. It's like two little kids like just running around having the best time of our lives. And like I'm excited that our honeymoon is literally in 3 weeks and we're gonna be able to do the
Yeah.
same thing all over again. So
Yeah. Life hack is you have to marry someone who you travel well with
yeah,
and that you can be yourself with.
yeah, exactly. I hate this question, but I'll ask you because I know you'll like it. Can you beat Hyde at any games?
Yeah, so I can beat Hyde at SSX Tricky on the GameCube, and he's never beat me in a race.
In a race. Oh, on SS Turkey. I was like, we can run right now outside. I'll beat
No,
you right
no,
now in a
you're
race.
faster than me on foot, but
Yeah.
not on snowboard.
Not on snowboards. That's right. It's funny. I remember I got a GameCube. Crazy. I got a GameCube in like 2025. But I remember uh literally telling I was like, oh, I bought SS Tricky because she goes, oh my God, we used to play that so much when we were kids. The orb is back. And then I remember us playing it and I got so mad.
You literally stopped playing with me. You were so mad.
I was like, I don't even want to play with you anymore. And she's doing like backflips, all these things, whatever. And
I
I'm
got
like,
the full Tricky like on every run we
all right,
did.
all right. We're gonna end
People
this
know what
call.
that means. If
Yeah.
Sims was a competition, I would be better at that than you.
Is there any other game you could beat me at? Nothing. That's what I thought.
Well, I for sure. Oh, solitaire. We were we were on a
Solitaire.
listen, we were on a plane, I think, or a train, and we were trying to kill time. And when you don't have service, I had solitaire on my phone, and I was like, let's see how quickly you could do it. And the way you moved was so slow and infuriating. I was like, fuck it, you're gonna mess up my score. Give me the phone back.
That's yeah. That's
So
I'm not. I think I have really slow reactions to things, and I think that was just really bad. It was bad performance. It was yeah. Anyways, last question, then we can talk about the live action. What is your favorite cuisine to prepare?
I think the one I do the most is Greek food. I'm Greek Cypriot. If you don't know, Cyprus is an island that's predominantly Turkish or Greek. My family is Greek Cypriot, and so I make a lot of like Greek Cypriot food. Um, Recipes that I used to make have been passed down to my mom and then to me. So I make a lot of Greek food, I think. It's also my favorite because I don't have to think about it as much. I know like the
I feel like you can go into the kitchen, grab all this stuff, and make a Greek thing like with like a snap of your finger.
yeah.
Like it doesn't take
Yeah,
a
I
lot of
could
like brain power to build like a Greek meal right off the bat.
Yeah, but I also like a lot of like curries. If I was the one cooking every dinner, it would always be like chana masala and stuff, but Dylan doesn't like he doesn't like
No,
my obsession with chickpeas.
no, no,
And you're not
no.
a big curry person.
No, I'm not a big curry person. Listen, for those who love curry, it's not that I don't like it. It's just like I don't prefer it. If I'm gonna eat anything else, I'm not like curry is not on my top. And I'll never remember that one time you made me curry at your house and I fucking almost died. It was so hot and spicy. I was sweating. We were just dating, just started dating. And I came over, she made me like a spicy curry. Didn't
It was a
know I
Thai
couldn't
curry.
Thai curry and I started eating it and I was sweating so bad, snot coming out of my nose. And she's like, you really don't have to eat it. And I was like, no, I gotta eat it. And so, yeah,
I
but
feel like it was also a yellow curry. Like it wasn't
it
that
was definitely red. It was red for hot. That's what it felt like.
okay.
But also you're an amazing cook. I love your cooking. I love a lot of the things that you make sometimes you go into the kitchen and just like whip something up with the ingredients you have. And I just think it's the best thing ever. I'm also very simple. You've learned that since you've been
Yeah.
cooking for me. Is there anything that
Dylan
I've go ahead?
Dylan will eat like ground turkey, rice, and broccoli for every meal if I left him to his own devices. So I had
Sure.
to I had to take over.
When she leaves out of town, I starve, folks. I
Literally.
starve. Literally. I always touch her. I'm like, I don't know what I want to eat. And then I end up getting like In and Out or something. Um, Last one. This is somebody from my Discord. I did not see this. Real quick. Rate Hyde's twerking from a 1 to 10, 10 being the best.
I'll say 9 because I think you're getting better, so I see a lot of improvement in the future.
Okay. I love that. And what's your all-time favorite memory of the captain?
of the captain.
Yeah, because I'm a captain of a crew. I don't know if you knew that, but your husband is a captain.
Yeah, I do think, like, yeah, I do think our wedding obviously is now going to be my new favorite. I think our first dance was super fun for us. I
Yeah.
also just liked that we choreographed it ourselves and we have all these like nights now where I can think of us like practicing and like just like giggling and trying to figure out how we were going to do this dance.
Yeah, and how stressed out I was that I was losing sleep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
towards the end, Dylan was losing sleep. It was really bad.
Yeah.
But actually, that might be okay. So a funny thing is, the night before our wedding was like our welcome night, and we had like wine with the wedding party and some family and stuff, and like all these things planned. And we were at the hotel restaurant eating food with a bunch of people, and you were like stressed about our dance. You
Yeah.
were like,
I
I'm
kept
just
I kept
nervous
coming
about
up
it.
to you and I was like, I'm so stressed about our first dance. I'm
Yeah.
panicking.
So I was like, "Look, okay, we have like, I need to freshen up, grab some things for like the wine night. So let's go up to our room." And we
Mhm.
did the dance up there and we were just like laughing and had fun and then you felt like immediately better and you were like just need some alone time to ourselves and it was like a small reminder in a hectic weekend of like we are ourselves with each other and we're like relaxed and calm.
Yeah. No, it was really good and it was great. Kiss from a Rose by Seal. So it was good. It was good. All right, we can get into the One Piece live action now because I know you
Okay.
put down. You were taking notes, which is funny. I told my community that, and people are like, "You don't even take notes." So people are very curious what the notes have to say, and we could go through it. So let's start now.
These are not edited notes. I don't even remember what half them are now, but okay. I have some questions. Is this the first anime they've made live action?
No, there's been others, and they're bad.
Okay. Um, isn't it true that the intro scenes in the anime One Piece are like known for being really good? Or
Yes,
is that not true? Okay,
yes,
I feel
yes.
like they didn't do as good of a job in the live action, although I don't know what the anime ones look like.
Well, the anime ones are very like after so many like episodes or whatever, they switch it. So there's so many intros, and a lot of people want me to like react to all of them and stuff. And
Right.
sometimes I can't watch them, but the music is phenomenal. Like there's a special theme to each of those like openings.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a long time now. It's been weeks or even a month since I watched the live action, so I don't really remember what the intro
Yeah, me
sounded like.
neither. When I wrote
But
that, I don't remember.
I also just don't think it was that good. But that's also a really good thing to point out.
Yeah, it's like a Netflix intro. Like I know the Netflix logo's in it. It's not like One Piece specific.
Yeah.
I liked when they introduce everyone with their wanted poster. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. Um,
The wanted
okay.
poster is pretty sick. That is one thing I have to say. Like, I wish they did in the anime. Like, the moment you see a new character or something, their wanted
Yeah.
poster pops up.
Okay, episode one. My first comment was this is a super inhumane way to execute someone. I think that was like the main pirate with the One
Y-
Piece.
yes, that it would
I think
be.
they
Do you
like
know?
cut
Do you know?
him in half.
No, they don't cut him in half. They just stab him. But do you know what his name is?
No.
His name is Gold D. Roger.
Okay, Gold D. Roger. I feel like stabbing someone like that was crazy. Um,
I actually think it's really stupid, but that's just me.
yeah. Oh, his name?
No, not his name. He's a legend. Hello. I
Sorry.
think stabbing him with the knives was not like I wish it was done different. I wish people are gonna be like, here we go, Celestial Hyde going off again. And if you don't know what celestial dragons are, I'll tell you another day.
No worries.
Yeah, but anyways, it doesn't matter. I just think it could have been better.
Okay, I'll try to go faster. I wrote, I love the bird. I don't know what bird I was talking about.
The male bird, the bird that brings news to Luffy.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a cute bird.
Um, I wrote, I love the pink pirate ship. So that was Captain Alvida. Um,
You know
I
what I
wrote,
call? You know what I
what do
called
you
her when
call
I
her?
first met her? Velveeta, like Velveeta cheese.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Okay.
Um, I wrote, I do think that pirates should be generally a bit dirtier. They all seem too clean to be real.
Hmm.
Don't know if that was a choice to match the anime style.
So you like dirty pirates?
No, I just feel like it wasn't realistic, but I guess also the show isn't realistic. So what was I expecting?
It won't be realistic at all. Like you'll see, like you'll have pirates, and then you'll have like a dude in a full fucking 8-piece suit with like a monocle and everything. So,
Yeah.
and then you'll have like people with like normal street clothes, like modern day clothes. So it's not very accurate. But I
Okay.
agree with you. Yes.
Okay. I said Shank's hair, they could have done a better job with that. Um, and then I wrote, I love Zoro's intro.
Zoro's intro is fire. Love Zoro.
I said this bar fight is so much masculine toxicity.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
it's
the
the
first bar fight where the kid dropped food.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. And then Shanks saying it's stronger not to react is a baller line. I don't know why I wrote baller. That's really weird of me to say that.
Wait,
Um,
he says what? Say it one more time.
so I guess in that bar scene, the kid was like, "Aren't you gonna fight?" Or Luffy said, "Aren't you gonna fight to defend yourself?" And he goes, "Sometimes it's stronger not to react."
Fucking bars, dude. He knows what he's saying, dude. That's Shanks for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, if I can only tell you about Shanks.
I don't know what this means. If you could do anything in the world right now, what would it be? Why did I write that?
If you could
That
do
must have been
anything,
a line someone said, and I was like, I like that.
if you could
Don't
do
know.
anything in the world right now, what would it be? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
there is. Never mind. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
I was gonna talk
Um,
about Kuma, but go ahead.
and then I wrote red hair girl, which now we know is Nami. I said, do not trust these men. And then I go, never mind, she had a plan. So she
Yes,
stole their ship.
yes, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Emily Rudd, dude. Emily Rudd.
and then I wrote, why is this blonde man's mouth so big? That's the Marine Nepo baby.
Yeah, yeah.
I wrote, baby bitch boy Marine deserved to be slapped by his daddy.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
The
He did.
Marine costume is cracking me up because it could not have said Marine on it more. It goes Marine, 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 Marine. I thought it was,
I actually hate the Marine outfits.
no, I actually do hate it. I thought it was ridiculous.
I think it's one of the most poor like designs of like this major force in a show. Like I feel like obviously they changed this later and they did a little bit better, but like they still look so bad. They're wearing baseball caps with like yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And then I wrote Buggy scares me. And then I get to episode two. And
buggy.
then
Oh
I
yeah.
and then I go, Buggy is super well cast. They casted him very well.
Oh, they
Um,
did. I think Buggy is literally exactly what I had pictured Buggy to be in a live action. Like they did such a great job with the actor, the design, everything.
yeah. And then I wrote, Kobe should not be a Marine. Who told them that would be a good idea?
I want you to put a
Uh,
little bit of respect on Kobe, please.
we'll see. We'll see. And then I wrote, Luffy is a little too happy all the time for me. I can't wait for him to express other emotions. So I feel like that'll be part of his growing up, hopefully. But like, I think the character was happy a little too much. Um, I'm
I
like,
like.
be negative. And then I wrote, here we go, another bar fight. I don't remember which bar fight happened second in the episode two. Um, I wrote little Luffy is really cute.
Yeah, he is.
I love the fight with Buggy. It was kind of fun. But see, this is where like his body splitting into pieces kind of grossed me out, and I don't know why it does that.
Okay, you gotta grow up, you know? You gotta
Um, my notes. And then I,
sorry.
I wrote, baby Luffy crying is too sad. I don't know what scene that happens in.
It's the
Um,
scene. Oh, I know. It's probably the scene where he's saying goodbye to Shanks.
mm. And then I wrote Zoro's earrings feel a little too Gen Z for me. Does he have earrings in the anime?
Don't ever speak to about our Lord and Savior like that. He could wear earrings. It is in the anime. And the
Okay, if it's
anime
in,
was and the manga was created in 19 probably in the 90s. It was the 90s because the show came out in 98 or
no, as long
99.
as he has it in the anime, I thought it was a costume choice that they made for the live action, and I was
No.
like,
No.
you guys are dumb. No, it's cool then. I see it now. Okay. On to episode three. Why didn't they give Usopp the nose?
I had the same complaint.
They do practical effects for a lot of the makeup and hair, which I don't think they did a great job. You told me it wasn't super high budget, which I think is bullshit. It's One Piece, but if they made everyone else look like their character, why didn't they do it to Usopp?
I think that's a
Uh,
big letdown because I feel like Usopp should have a long nose because the reference to him having a big nose in the anime is so like everyone says big nose, big nose, big nose, like oh, you
mm,
know. So, and it's
yeah,
it's like something like very significant to him where people will be like, "Oh my God, that's Usopp." You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
um but somebody in the chat explained it to me as like it's more of a symbol, like the nose and something. And I guess the live action character kind of has a big nose. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
It's obviously very exaggerated in the anime. To say someone's real nose represents that is actually a crazy statement. I wrote again, I feel like they're too clean. Um, this Nepo baby Marine should have just shaved all his hair off. What the fuck is he doing? I guess he left it like chopped.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. And then I wrote, who is this fish man with Buggy? I don't remember who that was, but I do remember the fish man really threw me off with how he looked.
are long.
Yeah.
Honestly, they did a terrible job with the fishmen, and the budget is very noticeable there. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't
It's
feel like,
those. I bring up a few other characters in my notes. I'm like, it's these people that like you should have spent more time with.
yeah, like they could have
Um,
done some CGI, like because the fishmen in the anime are like huge, massive, like tall, scary. Like this, you could obviously tell this guy is wearing like prosthetics, and the prosthetics are not that great. And yeah,
yeah. And then I wrote again, how is Kobe a Marine? Although I do think they become a big character in the show because why else would they be giving me this intro? Um, and then I wrote Kaya's cheap financial advisor. The hair and makeup is insane. That one was bad.
the
Let me look
Kaya.
this.
Oh,
Kaya.
the sheep guy that was with them,
Yeah, what is he like? Financial
Mary.
advisor.
Yeah, his
Mary.
name Mary.
Okay, so I see the anime. Let me do live action. Yeah, dude, that was awful.
Yikes!
Poorly done. Um,
You're just ripping it apart. Keep going.
well, overall, I'll get to good at the end too. I have to point out that the negative's easier to point out, we all know. Um, Edward Scissorhands is her butler. I
Yeah,
didn't like how he killed, I think it was
Mary.
Mary. Felt unnecessary. And then I wrote, they're poisoning Kaya though, right? So I
They
clocked
are.
that.
Yeah, like Munchausen's disease or something like that.
Hey, we find out in episode 5, no worries.
Thank
And
you. Sorry.
then oh, episode 4. Episode 4, I only have 5 notes. Episode 4 and 5 I watched with you, so I couldn't take as many notes because you were right there. And then my first note is I knew it was poison. Um, and I wrote One Piece is fighting the Netflix lighting allegations. Have you heard about the Netflix lighting
No, what's
thing?
that?
It's about how Netflix lights all their shows in this very bright white lighting and things don't look real anymore. They just look like they're in a studio all the time. And it's
Okay.
ruining cinema. And they don't do that in One Piece, and I'm really glad they don't.
Okay. Good.
Um, and then I wrote, I like Zoro's backstory here. Kuro's actor was good. Who's Kuro?
Oh, Captain
Edward
Kuro.
Scissorhands.
That was like my favorite villain in the beginning. I used to die on
Yeah,
that hill that he was my favorite villain.
he was really well cast. The whole haunted house vibe fight where he was like looking for them in the dark was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did write that. And then episode 5, I wrote, does the Nepo baby Marine like Kobe now? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then I wrote Grandpa Meanie.
Grandpa Meanie
Oh, Luffy's grandpa,
is
a meanie.
no, what's his
He's a
name?
Marine. Oh, I don't know.
His name's Darth. It's funny, you actually don't learn that until like episode 300 and something in the anime that
I was gonna
Darth.
ask you how many episodes of the anime this covered, but I'll finish my notes first. I wrote the fish people working at the seafood restaurant is insane. Um, I it like
You're
is it called out by people who watch the show? That's crazy.
Yeah, the fish community is not very happy about this. It's misrepresentation in the fish community.
I don't know if
Uh,
this is a typo, so let me just check one thing. Okay, and I wrote Mihawk's intro was really cool, but I think his necklace is really dumb.
I do think
It's
that
really oversized.
well, okay, so Mihawk obviously has a very large sword that's in the shape of a cross. He also has like
Yeah,
the cross around his neck. Like that's the thing. He also rides on a cross boat with like, I don't know. I felt like I fell asleep during that point when you were
you
watching.
did. You
Yeah.
fell asleep. They just made it even bigger than it is in the anime, and I feel like it was distracting me at one point how big it was because I was like, no one would want to fight with a necklace that large.
Right, right.
See,
Um,
I think I get distracted by things like that.
yeah, no. I do think I've seen the image of his cross like from the live action, and I do think it looks fake. Like it looks so
Yeah.
cheesy.
Or like make it look like real gold. I don't know. I just don't think they did a good
Well,
job.
the my thing with the One Piece live action, and I know a lot of people love it, and I know the second season's getting a lot of hype, and it is what it is. I just think like it could have been done better, in my opinion. It could have been done like with a little bit more budget. It just feels like a very cheap like TV show, like very like you could tell they're in a studio room, like based off of like the props and the houses and like you know what I mean? It feels like I'm watching like an early 2000s like you know, I don't even know, like a Grey's Anatomy type of vibe, right? Like the way that the
Yeah.
everything kind of feels and looks and stuff.
And you know
Uh,
what I think it is? I think it's things are too clean for pirates.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can't really tell how dirty people are in the show, but
I just feel like I was looking at Mihawk again, and even his sword is like, it looks like prop gold. It looks like you'd get that sword at a costume store. But
mm,
I think like you would expect this from a first season of any other show that's like brand new, but because it has such a following, I think that's kind of what's weird about it is that they didn't put more money into it. But you said season two, they really step it up.
season. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I've just seen clips and like the amount of like the actors and like the CGI looks incredible. But there's still moments where you're like, this does look cheesy. I did see a funny thing where it says that the acting is just as bad as porn acting. Any thoughts on that?
I don't think the acting's bad. I honestly like all of the actors. Um,
A lot of people give a lot of hate to Luffy's character, the
I don't
actor
think
who
that's
plays.
fair. I think they forget that he's a kid in this, right? Like how old is he supposed to be?
He's supposed to be 17. 17, yeah, 16, 17. I think he's
Yeah.
17, yeah.
But to me, he reminds me of what I've seen from the early parts of the anime.
Mhm.
I mean, people have seen more of the anime than me, so they would know, but I think so far I like him. You know who I don't love, and it could again be the hair, is Sanji.
You're about to
Um,
get so much fucking hate. Guys,
not the
relax.
character, not the character, the like how they dressed him or something is looking they could have done the hair better. I think that's what it is. Looking at the anime, the hair looks more flowy.
I
His
still
is
haven't seen a lot of Sanji on screen from the live action, but I've seen pictures and stuff. Like I follow the live action actor on Instagram. Um, and I've seen like the photos he's posted. I mean, to me, I think it's hard. Like a lot of people have to like remind me, like the anime is cheesy and corny, and the outfits they
yeah,
wear are corny and stuff. So like doing it in the live action is gonna look weird to us, right? So
yeah,
I mean, but
like
overall,
I don't, yeah.
yeah. They also took away his he has a in the anime, he has a swirly line for an eyebrow, and he doesn't have it in the show.
See, like, why do everything else that's corny, but then not do that stuff?
I don't know. That's just you know, it keeps me up at night when you think about it. Your camera is a little glitchy.
Oh, I'll stop browsing the internet.
Oh no, you're fine.
Um,
Geez, you need a better computer, dude. Don't yell
no,
at me.
anyway, I am excited to keep watching. I am enjoying it, contrary to all my critiques. And I'm also excited to see season two with Chopper.
Yeah, that's your favorite character, right? If you had to choose a character, it's Chopper.
Yeah, having not seen a single scene with him yet, though, in the live action,
You've seen,
but
yeah, but you've seen a lot of scenes of him on stream with me, right? Like you've seen him
yeah,
on
yeah,
camera.
yeah. I just think he is cute.
He is a cutie patootie. He's one of my faves. It's really hard choosing a favorite because they're all really great and stuff. Um, okay, so before we end, I always want to ask one simple question I've been asking the last two people. Uh, if you could choose any fictional character, whether it's a book, a movie, a TV show, I know you don't watch a lot of movies because you've never seen a movie in your life. Sorry, don't yell at me. What would it be and why? If you could choose a fictional character, I ask everyone this.
Yeah, I feel like this one, I thought about it right before this. I think it's kind of hard for me because there's not a lot of like worlds that I've gotten super deep into. Like, I think like the Lord of the Rings thing, you've been, all the movies, the sequels, the prequels, like you will watch all of that and you know everything you can about Hobbiton and whatever. The closest thing I have to that is Harry Potter, I think. I like watched that a lot as a kid, and I will watch the spin-offs. Like I've seen the Fantastic Beast stuff, and I'll watch like the new show. So I felt like I had to go to that world because no one pops out straight away. So then I think it would be Hermione Granger because She's like the brains of the operation, and people make fun of her for being smart, and that's not fair.
And that's your reason why you like her as a fictional character.
Yeah, she's really brave and smart, and
She's
she's really
also, go ahead, it's your character.
yeah, she's also my turn. She and the actor who plays her is like a pretty big activist. And she's really like the leader of that group. They would have gotten nowhere without her. So
Nice. I love that. I love that. I also think she's a strong, independent woman. And I feel like that could
yeah,
be another reason why, like, you, because I feel like, obviously you're very strong and you're very independent and very inspiring. And I feel like that's another great character for like young girls to look at and be like, damn, like I would love to be like Hermione. Remember, she's a
yeah.
muggle. She doesn't have any wizardry in her bloodline, but she's still able to keep up
No,
with everyone else.
she's
No, she's a muggle. Both parents. This is your favorite character and you don't even know, dude? That's crazy. She's a muggle. That's why fucking Draco Malfoy calls her a muggle blood.
no, he called her a mudblood.
Is she half?
She
Because
is not a muggle, but a muggle born witch. She was raised by two parents. Yeah, she was like adopted, but she has powers.
I'm so stupid.
Like, how else would she be able to do magic?
I'm so stupid. Oh my god. Anyways. Oh, real quick, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Togepi.
Oh, and lastly, just to, clarify some allegations against me, do you think I hate women?
No, and I actually, when it's a joke, it's totally fine for people to make fun of you. But if anyone thinks it seriously, it's insulting to me. I would never marry someone who did not worship women.
Thank you. Just like that, folks. And that's it. I'm not a celestial dragon, and I am not a woman hater. But anyways, I love you. Thank you so much for being a part of the pod. Everyone's gonna enjoy this. You're definitely such a talk around the community. So I'm excited to continue making content with you. And yeah, I hope we can have you on again. It's so crazy. I'm about to see you in like 10 seconds. So
I know we're gonna like go into the hallway and be like, that was so good, right?
yeah,
Like,
right. That was good. Should we have talked about this? Yeah, I know. But anyways, I love you and thank you for always supporting me.
love
It
you.
means the world to me. So, all right. Like I always say, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I love you guys. And let me know what you think about this podcast on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Bye.